Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Waste Management Phoenix Open betting preview. I'm pumped. What a week in sports we've got with the Waste Management from TPC Scottsdale, the Super Bowl going on, Live Vegas going on. DB here. I'm about to get on an airplane as soon as this show is over to fly to meet my dearest Patrick, who joins us from a hotel in Arizona. How we doing, Pat? You look lovely. You sound good. You look a little. I mean, I see a little hangover in those eyes, but
Yeah, well, for the most part, I've been pretty good. But we went into this place last night and they had cocktails that were flaming up with fire and everything. What are you gonna do? You got to get one.
Oh, dude, I'm a sucker for a cocktail antic. Like you got smoke or it come out of a bird cage or, maybe somebody, I don't know. I'm a sucker for that. If there's something like that, I will pay for it.
Oh yeah, there was fire everywhere. I mean, as soon as you walk, they had a lady doing fire breathing or whatever, fire eating. I mean, it was crazy.
Dang.
That's Scottsdale. But I thought I'd walked into a live event. I was like, wait a second. What just happened?
It's it's dinner, but louder.
Yeah, it is. But it was fantastic. My feet are about to fall off, DB, because I've been doing a lot of hiking in Sedona, which is a beautiful area.
Oh my God. Goes hiking. How do we not have video of that? How do we not have some content of that on Instagram?
Oh, believe me, there's some stuff. I haven't had time to really put it all out there, but there are some things. Let me tell you, your boy can do some dangerous stuff. I mean, I was on the side of a cliff yesterday,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, death was right
there,
right there, right to the right of me.
Yeah.
But I also saw girls trying to get pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And one I thought was literally about to die to save her phone. I mean, the phone almost fell off of a cliff.
Oh my gosh.
I don't understand what these people do for shots. They need a gram shot. Would you do that?
You saw influencers in the wild.
Yeah, I mean, you like social media. Would you do that? Would you do a death-defying act?
You know what this reminds me of? And we just came out of Pebble Beach. Remember when Jordan hit that shot at Pebble right at the edge of the cliff? Yeah. And it was like, I mean, he was literally 3 feet away from it or maybe more. And everybody just thought, oh my, he's the bravest. He's, Jason Bourne, James Bond, whatever you want to call it. All the announcers were just losing their shit.
Yeah, I do remember that. But it really didn't look all that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of, but
I mean, I'll be honest, when you're standing at the edge of a cliff like that,
it's a little, it's scary.
It's humbling. You're like, I could just, this is it right here.
Yeah. Some misstep happens. But
yeah, we're glad you didn't drop your phone, fall off the world there in Arizona. But I can't wait to come hang out with you this week. We will be at the Waste Management. Talked about it last week, doing the media thing Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, doing some work with the PGA Tour and Golf Bet. If you're out there, say what's up. We still have, I think, one spot available to play golf on Friday morning with me and Pat and a few listeners. Our boy Money Mark, DT, playing with us. That's going to be at Dobson Ranch on Friday morning. Looking forward to that. Dude, we had a huge week in the Discord, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize this. Round one, we crushed the props market. We caught, actually at the end of the show, we're going to have our boy Kenny McAndress on, founder of the Moonshot and the Mooney Gang. We love Kenny. We're going to talk about some Super Bowl bets, some fun prop bets that we all like. Kenny's obviously going to have some bombs for the Waste Management. That's what he does. But Kenny and I kind of stumbled on this FanDuel miscalculation on Thursday morning, and we all hammered it. We crushed the prize picks and underdog stuff. Our boy Model Maniac Byron crushed his placement bets for the week, and the showdown content has been fire. Shout out to Byron, to Spaz, to DT, anybody else involved with those. Our boy Hess took down a showdown contest. I think it was round one. We crushed round one. Shout out to Hess. Vince Money Mark, the writer and author of the Juicin' Let's Go Juicin' article on tourjunkies.com and the Sunday Save Your Ass Parlay, hit $10,000 showdown win yesterday, I believe, or round three, I think it was. And dude, did you see the heist that was pulled off in our Discord by one certain user, City of Champs? Did you see it?
I did not. Now, is it related to the Saturday night lead that Wyndham Clark had?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember the book. If somebody's in the chat, tell me the book. But City of Champs put it up there in the Discord and was like, "This thing is still this book is still hanging this," and you know, I'm gonna pound it. And he apparently the story he was in a casino, but he said, "Oh, it was Bet Rivers." Okay, thanks, Mike. He was in a casino and was pulling out, going to every different ATM he could, getting max cash out. He borrowed $1,000 from his buddy in the casino and just absolutely went all in and hammered this book for the Wyndham Clark hit. And they paid it.
They paid it?
They paid it. And so everybody in the Discord's like, get that money out like right now. I don't know of an update on City of Champs, but we always tell you to bend over your bookie. Gosh dang it. Way to go. Way to go, City of Champs.
I love that.
Heist.
It's not like that was a secret, though, because it was kind of all over Twitter.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of people that were doing that. I walked down this morning, DB, in the lobby. I walk in, and now there's a lot of media people here. Now, I didn't do that on purpose, but there's two, they were like runners for NBC, and they asked me, they're like, hey, what do you do? And I was like, Tour Junkies. They're like, of course we've heard of you. They hadn't heard of us, but they were like, but I told them what we did, and they were like, yo, we hammered Wyndham Clark at plus 200 or whatever it was. I was like, did they pay out? And they were like, I don't know. I was like, I bet they did.
How do you not? Like, you need to check that ASAP.
Go check that. But obviously, it was all over the place. Of just two random dudes that I've seen in the lobby this morning. We're talking about that.
Also, so if you're not in the Discord, you got to join. Like, join the community. We're all helping each other out. It's fantastic. Our boy Byron Model Maniac has added so much good value to the Discord. I'm just telling you, like, if the membership to the Discord doesn't pay for itself in the year, I don't know what you're doing. Like, then you're just subscribing and then you're not paying any attention, because every week there's so much good, valuable content coming out of there. And we're not going to skip a beat this week. I've already loaded a ton of stuff for waste management into the research thread, the caddy info thread, the quotes thread. Our boy Spaz is going to hold it down while we're doing the media thing. We're obviously going to get a lot of boots on the ground intel and information that we will be sharing in the Wednesday night chat this week that should be lit. We talked about that last week. So join the Discord, check it out. Also, I hit the Joaquin Neiman live outright bet, despite so many things against us. The 2-stroke penalty, Joaquin and his caddy forgetting how you actually just drop a ball, which you should have learned at 11 years old doing AJGA stuff.
I don't know. Rory apparently did that too. So
Rory, the same thing. Darkness was against us. Sergio was against us. Everything was against us. So took down the Joaquin Neiman outright for a good little 40-unit hit on SoBet. That was fun too. Anyway, it was a great week. Good times. Let's move on. Let's talk about the season-long update. We talked about this. I said in one of these signature events with a huge prize pool and payouts, the swing changes can be quite real. I've had a very comfortable lead on you in the season long until now.
Let me tell you something before you start.
Okay.
I have been more interested to see what you're going to say. I am very interested all the time in what you're going to say. I was looking around trying to figure out what the payouts are, and I couldn't find it anywhere, because I was like, I think I've picked up some ground.
Yeah.
But I do not know how much ground I've picked up yet.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to hear what you have to say.
I don't know what it is either. I'm counting on producer Tony to update us with that. But I didn't want to look. I mean, a signature event, the payout is like $3 million to the winner. Ludwig is who I had, who had no damn business doing what he did at Pebble Beach. Ludwig finished second, I think, on his own, right? Wasn't he solo second?
Solo second.
Brutal. And you had, I think, Fitzpatrick, who looked great after the first couple of rounds and ended up finishing T58. So
that 3 over on Saturday was fantastic for me.
All right, producer Tony, hit us with hit me with the damage here. Goo. Okay. All right.
Okay, I really picked up some ground.
I am at now 2.6 million. Pat is at almost 1.7 million for the season.
Wow. Oh. Tony, what was the net gain there? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, like a $2 million net gain on my part.
Yeah, there was a big swing there. I'll have to take off the Excel spreadsheet that we've got working here. But DB Ludwig made you $2.1 million this week. Pat Fitzy got you $38K. So a big
That
swing there.
is huge. God, that's so.
I think
Oh, that's like Greg Norman cock huge right there. That's a huge distance.
Pat,
Oh,
this week, I believe you were up by 1.3, 1.4 million, and
Mhm.
now that's just completely swung.
Well, that's we've been saying this all along. These signature events really can change things, and they did. They
yeah,
changed it, and
yeah.
look, I mean, I
All right.
will say, the bet that we've come up with is attend a Lame concert, and I was sending DB some Lame concerts this week. Maybe that helped me. I don't know, but I would have actually liked to have seen what would have happened if I had attended the concert that I sent DB. But
It
anyway,
ain't over. I mean, let's not act like this is over. There's like
oh no, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm excited about what happens with this. Who
yeah.
wins this?
Yeah, you did send me a really hilarious concert coming to Savannah later on in the year. But all right, let's get to it then. So the season long bet, we always start with that here in the betting show. That is our fade player in the top tier range at 30-1 or shorter. I think it's my turn. I'm
It
pretty
is.
sure I start first this week, right?
Yeah.
So who we're fading at the top at 30-1 or shorter. Well, I'm actually gonna. I feel like this is probably not the smart thing to do because it's just totally expected to just bite me in the ass after this guy helped you. But I'm taking Fitz. I you just got little measly 38,000 from Fitz. I would like a measly 38,000 for Fitz this week if you don't mind. Minwoo Lee has been a decent fade early in this contest a couple weeks in a row. I'm banking on Fitzy continuing to do the same. His ball striking numbers have dropped. The putting numbers have not been good his last two events at both the Sony and the Pebble. I realize he's got a decent track record here at least in the last 2 years at Waste Management, but I don't see him coming into the Waste Management this year in similar ball striking or putting form for that matter as he has the last 2 years when he's played well. He's at 30-1 on DraftKings right now. He barely qualifies, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Fitz. To producer Tony says that's the third time Fitz has been picked in this bet this year, which again makes sense because he doesn't look like himself right now. Now that could change at any moment for sure. He's a world class player, but I'm gonna keep riding the poor form Fitzy at 30-1.
I don't mind it. I'm with you there on Fitzy. So, all right. Well, listen. Now we're both cutting it close here because there's some odds changes between these. Now, if you look at FanDuel, Fitz is 35, but he's 30-1 on DK. But we did this. This is like we said, giving each other a 2 or 3 foot putt. But I'm going to stay in the same range with JT Poston, who is right at 30-1 too. Now, JT, I love JT, and
Yeah.
he has performed.
Pat, this is going to come back to haunt you when we're walking with JT on his pro-am day.
Well, we need the. I'm sure you will, but we need the content. So whatever. Quote this, clip it. I'm saying I love JT, but I just don't know if I like him that much this week. And he's played okay here in the past. Nothing great. I mean, he had a T11 back in 21. He was top 25 and 22. Missed a cut last year. I think out of the guys that are up near the top, I feel the best about he's not going to bite me and get like a, 5th place finish, 4th place finish somewhere there. I don't see him up there.
He has feasted on these greens at Scottsdale. I think these just absolutely pure greens reward, a pure putting stroke like JT. If the ball striking shows up at all for him, he could run away with this thing. I mean, in this field, he's been that good, and the putter is that solid. But I see what you're saying about his record here. Okay. All right. I feel good about this. I think we're good here. All right, let's talk about outrights shorter than 30-1 that we actually like, Pat. Who's a name or two that you like up here at the top?
Well, I'll start up at the top with Justin Thomas at 12-1. I love what.
Notice that you're now referring to JT Poston as JT and Justin Thomas as Justin Thomas.
Well, I had to differentiate there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I call him Justin Thomas? Am I not?
No, you can. You totally can. I just, I'm just pointing that out.
Okay. Well, I do like JT. Wait a second. Justin Thomas.
There you go.
This week. Look, he's been playing well, man. He had the T3 at the MX. He had T6 last week at Pebble Beach. I really think he could have come on and won that golf tournament had it not been cut short. So I really like Justin Thomas, and he's been fantastic here. I mean, the last 5 years he's played here. Top 15s every year, 4th back last year, 3rd in 2019, T3 in 2020. So the guy obviously loves this place. He plays well here. 12-1. I think there's just a few things about his game that need to start clicking, and we're going to see a victory out of Justin Thomas. So up top, I think I like Justin Thomas the best. I tell you, DB, I am not ever like, I don't get a whole lot of Sam Burns vibes a lot, but I'm having them this week. I'm having a tingling for Sam Burns. There's a burning feeling. There's a burning feeling for Sam. And I think I'm gonna bet him there at 22-1, unless you can give him a little bit longer. I do like Sam Burns also up here near the top. If I'm not leaving this building until there is a finger up my ass.
There's the drop. Listen, I'll have some thoughts on these guys. JT is 14-1 on FanDuel. Burns is 25-1 on FanDuel. FanDuel offering a little longer numbers at the moment. But you know, I did the course breakdown, the course preview show. You can check that out if you haven't already looked at that. Talked a lot about TPC Scottsdale, what we've heard from our caddy friends in the past, what the data on Bet the Number says about TPC Scottsdale. But one thing that I think, you know, gets talked about every year at this event is obviously guys that embrace this atmosphere, and guys that don't. And Justin Thomas is clearly a guy who really embraces the atmosphere at Waste Management. That's why he comes back every single year. And I could totally see this, he's already kind of busted out of the slump, right? Like he's already done that. But the win coming out of that, I could absolutely see happening here. And at 14-1, I think is well worth the ride. And the only other player I have listed in here too is Sam Burns. And I think what's happening is, Pat, the reason Burns is tickling your balls is because his irons look better right now, right?
Yeah, they do.
He's always been kind of a little erratic with the irons. He's covered up a lot of stuff with the putter, but similar to a guy we're going to talk about in a longer range here in a little bit that I've been very high on. The irons appear to be in solid form right now, and given his ability to close the door and win as an outright, you know, bet, I couldn't agree more. Those are the two names I have. So total consensus here. Love it. I just got to acknowledge my friends in the chat who are very happy with me. Our boy Darren, Joe, I think I saw in here, happy with the Joaquin Neiman hit at 14-1. I just got it, which was on SoBet. And I would remind you people to check out SoBet if you've not already. We drop exclusive bets on there every single week. There are so many talented handicappers in every sport, but especially this week with the Super Bowl, prop bets, all that stuff. They're dumping out a ton of content there in SoBet. And you can click the link in the description of the video or podcast and use code TJTrial to get your first month free. And then you can cancel at any time. There's no big deal, but there are over 5,000 people on SoBet cashing tickets. It's a great community, another great betting community available on SoBet. You can sign up for notifications. It's fantastic. So we appreciate SoBet for supporting us. And listen, if you support the Tour Junkies, then we ask you to support our partners and at least give them a shot, right? You don't have to commit to it long-term if it's not for you, but at least give them a shot. We vet these partners. They vet us. We make sure that we feel like they're a good fit for our audience. And, you know, SoBet's was behind us all year last year. They're behind us all year this year, and that's important for us. So give them a try. Even if you're not in a legal betting state, plenty of the content on SoBet helps you for prop stuff and other fantasy stuff and whatever you can get your hands on. SoBet will help you. So check it out. All right. Odds up to 75-1. Can I ask you a question, Pat?
Yeah.
I do want to ask about this one guy. And I've seen him kind of like back and forth between the previous range we were just in and this range. But like he's around 30-35-1, maybe 40-1. In some places, like Minwoo, like are we still thinking Minwoo is like 30-1, 35-1 worth an outright look? And I could see everyone's just, you know, everybody's loins lit on fire for Minwoo at the Waste Management because it's, you know, let him cook and
kind of seems like a Minwoo place,
which it probably is. I mean, I bet he's going to love it. And I'm sure the crowd's going to love him. I expect to see him in a chef hat on 16 on Tuesday or Wednesday in his practice round.
It feels like a good fit too, though.
It does. I mean, I think hit it long off the tee, putt the hell out of it for sure. I just, it just doesn't seem like the numbers are correct. Like he should be longer, but maybe it's a case of he's a popular bet and the books just know it, so they can shorten him up a little bit.
I agree. I think they're making a little cash off of Minwoo. So I think that he's, certainly. I think this could be a good week for him, but I'm kind of staying away. As a matter of fact, if he had been in that 30-1 range and under, and I could have used him potentially as the fade, I would have done so. But he was a little bit too high.
All right. In this range, I'll tell you what. I mean, a lot of people are going to talk about Ben On. Phoenix is a great spot for Ben On. We're going to see Ben On as well on Tuesday or Wednesday. We've been talking to him a little bit. Going to do some content with him. By the way, if you have any good content suggestions or you got questions you want us to ask some of our friends we're going to see this week, players, caddies, I think Pat's been talking to Kiz, who's on the call for NBC this week. Going to talk to him. If you got anything you want us to throw out there, please feel free. Drop a comment in the YouTube video right now. By the way, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But drop some comments. That'll be a good time. Ben On is to me, I mean, I want a piece. I mean, it feels like he's close. He's been close, and it's a good spot for him. So I think it makes a lot of sense. 45-1 on FanDuel for him. And then one of my, I'm going to just go ahead and give you everybody I like here. I got two more. First timers don't all, they don't usually win at a place their first time around. Kyle Stanley did it, which I'm not sure how, other than just, I mean, obviously he was a really good ball striker, but Brooks Koepka did it here. But Brooks is, come to find out, a world-class player. But I think Akshay at 65-1 is interesting here. Speaking of a guy who will definitely embrace the vibe here, hits it plenty far, good long iron, good mid iron player, and has shown some really solid form here. I think Akshay is an interesting bet at 65-1. So I like him. And then, of course, I alluded to it earlier, similar to Sam Burns, I've been on that Beau Hossler train for quite some time now. I'm not hopping off. He's continued to have a good week at Pebble Beach. 75-1 for Beau. The irons are still there. Like I think he's evolved as a player, and this long-term iron improvement is starting to pan out in front of us. And I think if he can have a week where he puts it all together, he's a serious contender at 75-1. So those are my three favorites here.
Okay. Well, I like Ben On. I'm with you there. Also with you on Akshay. I thought maybe I might sneak him in on you.
Ooh, glad I went first.
Yeah. So definitely some agreement there. I like Sahith. Obviously we've seen Sahith play well here in the past with that T3 back in 2022. He's kind of been a little bit all over the place this year. He had the second at the Century, missed cut at the Sony, made the cut at the Farmers, and then that T20 last week. And when you look at his approach play, it's also been a little all over the place. Great at the Century, was about even at the Sony, then not very good at the Farmers, and then he gained on approach last week at Pebble Beach. But I do like Sahith. You can probably get him around 45-1. Also, DB, I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Hideki again. And I don't know. Maybe it's just like the number up here at 50-1 in that range.
No, it's you being a course history stan.
Well, that too, but it hasn't been. At least if you look at the last 3 years, it's not. I mean, he did have a top 10 in 2022, but I do like Hideki this week. And then DB. Now, is this at the top of the range? Where are we going to again? 75.
Yes.
All right. Can I interest you? I never get this guy right. Can I interest you in some Thomas Dietrich?
Yes.
75-1. I mean, Look at how this guy is playing lately. I mean, the T20 at the Farmers was a little bit there. T4 last week, long off the tee, good putter. I think that if he can just get that approach play going. Now, let me look at last week at Pebble. Yeah, he gained on approach at Pebble, gained at Farmers. There's a little bit of a trend here, a positive one with Thomas Dietrich at 75-1. I like that too.
I agree. I actually had him in the next range because FanDuel has him at 80-1. That's why I didn't bring him up. But I mean, I'm in total agreement with you on Dietrich. I think he's for sure in play.
By the way, can I throw out this?
Mm-hmm.
This is just something I'm noticing. And I was going to put it in the chat, but I'm just going to put it out here. Our numbers are off, and I wonder if it's because of I'm in Arizona.
Could be.
And where you are, like it's crazy. We're looking at the exact same sites, and my numbers are different.
Could be.
Which is I didn't know it was that different. But anyway.
Detry checking some boxes on my my early model. I did post a screenshot of some names in my early first run model on Bet the Number that I did. So put that in the Discord. And listen, by the way, speaking of Bet the Number, updates coming this week. Be on the lookout. If everything goes to plan, we are hearing some very nice live statistics and odds coming in to Bet the Number potentially this weekend. Again, it's computer people and computer stuff, so could get delayed, but that is something that is on the very near horizon of Bet the Number. So we're excited about that, and thank you to everybody who's hopped on board with Bet the Number. We've had a great first month there in January, and now you can also get a free trial. Oh, look at that, Pat. Now you can get a free trial when you sign up for the monthly or annual subscription. You get the first week free, and then you can make your decisions. We understand that if you're on a different platform and you're thinking about switching, you kind of want to see the goods a little bit. You kind of want to get a little piece of maybe a little bottom tit, maybe a side tit, before you embrace the whole thing. Sometimes that works. So Bet the Number's willing to give you a side tit, maybe a bottom if you like that too. I'm a big fan of a little bit of a bottom tit. Honestly.
Well, bottom tip. Okay.
Like if it's it's just it's nice.
Clip that, Tony.
Yeah. He's probably already done it. Anyway, you get the 7-day free trial. So you get Waste Management for free. Check it out. Play around with the custom model. It is the most detailed, most amazing custom model that we've seen. Stats in there that I don't think you're getting anywhere else. The people behind the scenes at BTN have already loaded a preliminary model for the Waste Management. You can check out. I do know there will be some changes to that as the week progresses, because the model gets changed frequently right up until kind of things get started on Thursday. So check that out. Pat, and that's the thing, like we're going to be talking to so many of our player friends and caddy friends and being on site for the next 2 days that, I'm sure some things might change for us, like in terms of bets, in terms of guys we're high on or not high on. I'm sure we're going to get caught up in some of that while we're there. So we'll be sure to pass that on in the Discord, but I'll try to update my own Bet the Number model too, and maybe share some screenshots if I can. Also, major update, Pat, because we're getting to this guy's, we're going to get to the bombs here in a second, but for those of you who've been riding with Tour Junkies since the early days, 2015, 2016, 2017, that there was a player that had Pat's heart from early on.
Yes.
And it happens. If you think this is new, that like, man, I just can't stop playing this guy or this guy, DFS or betting, whatever. It's not new. It's a tale as old as time. And there's a player who's making his comeback this week. He's in the field. But not only is he in the field, after a long medical situation that he's recovering from, and he's got medical starts left to retain his tour card. But not only is he in the field, he is the very first person on the media schedule, interview schedule tomorrow. And his name is Bud Cowley. And Pat is excited.
Bud Cowley.
Dude,
I cannot wait
about that.
I can't wait to see him, to talk to him. Now, I've never met him in person, but I feel like maybe we can make that happen tomorrow.
They don't do this in the media center when you ask questions that you're usually seated. But what if the tournament director makes you stand up? Are you going to be able to stand up with your erection to ask?
I don't know. I do like the high school thing when you get like going up to get a
bag in front of it.
Yeah, or you just kind of lean over. But I kept thinking, and when you sent me that,
sir, why are you holding your laptop in front of your crotch?
Yeah, I kept thinking though, like, I might just like ask, like, be like the substitute teacher in that Key and Peele skit, like ask him to say his name, and then if he says it wrong, no, you say it right. You say it right. You say it right. Tunsier.
By the way, Tunsier is in the Monday qualifier for the Waste Management. It's 104 golfers for 3 spots, I think.
How can you not let that kid in on his own?
I don't know, but I hope he gets.
I'm going to go talk to somebody tomorrow and just tell him, look,
yeah,
Tunsier needs to be in this event.
Dude, he's probably the course is probably right near where you are. You should get out there today and
I might have to
get him.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to having Bud back on tour, and props to him, man. He's been through a lot, and so this is pretty cool to see him back out playing again.
Producer Tony in the chat's reminded me that Lexi Thompson once showed under tit on Golf Digest, and the whole golf world lost their mind. I don't remember that at all.
I don't either. I do not remember.
Really? That
Nah.
was like 5, 6 years ago. She had like a towel over it, and just like I working
Yeah.
for Sirius XM, it was just call after like, oh, this is just just stuffy white guys calling in, old guys. It was
Wait, they were upset?
yeah.
What?
It was like, why? This is Golf Digest, not in our sport.
Okay, whatever. What's
All right.
wrong with these people?
Jeez. Oh God. I need to see Jim McLean, on the front cover telling me how to get more width in my backswing. I ain't trying to see no under tit. What a ding dong. God, who would call in and say that? F that guy. I wish we had a show on Sirius XM at that time. We could handle that. All right, let's keep moving. We got our boy Kenny McAndress about to hop in here and drop some Super Bowl knowledge on me. All right, long range. So we talked about Detry. He was on here for me. I like a lot of names here.
All right, why don't I go first then?
Okay, you go.
Because I don't have as many names. All right, I'm going to start with this guy, DB.
Okay.
And I'm sorry because I feel like I might steal him from you. I think it's time for Kitty.
Dude, me too. I have it.
It is Kitty time.
When's the last time you or me have bet?
Never.
Kitty?
I don't know. I think it's probably been never. But look, man, top 25 here last year. Played well at Pebble. Had a good outing at the Sony.
Which is not a great, not the best course for him. Nor is the Sony.
It's not. If you look at the BTN model, he is high up there.
7th in my model.
Yeah, and 8th in the BTN model. Look, I mean, scrambling's been great. His approach numbers have been great. The last 4 outings he's gained on approach. I mean, tee to green, fantastic at Pebble Beach. Off the tee, gained strokes in the last 3. I think Kitayama is very much in play this week. Now I'm seeing 90 to 1. You might be seeing
110 on FanDuel.
We'll slam it.
We got to send. I think we got to send Kitty.
Yeah, we have to. I think you go back to EVR. DB, another guy that's showing up well in the BTN model. I'm seeing 100 to 1. You tell me that he's probably a little bit longer than that.
20 on FanDuel.
Yeah. Top 25 is his last 2 events. He's made he's been fantastic. You look at off the tee in this field, he's 15th in the field, top 10 in approach, top 15 in putting, approach when you look at 175 to 240 in the BTN model. So I really like EVR a lot. And then I'm going to go back to Hubbs. I really wish that Hubbs could have finished out the Pebble Beach tournament. I had him at 200 to 1 on the card. I think this is just a guy that I just love how he plays. We're going to get to talk to him tomorrow or Wednesday. So we'll get to see, here we might get some inside info on Hubbs, but he has shortened up a good amount since last week where he was 200 to 1. What are you seeing him at, DB?
He's 120.
120. So I do like Hubbs. I think that's probably about it for me in this long shot range.
Kitty was a lock for me. I was kind of eyeballing EVR as well, which he's another one we've already confirmed we're going to get to talk to a little bit and hang out with this week. I would add 2 more. The Scottsdale resident and rookie, Kevin Yu, who continues to play quite well. The T58 at Pebble Beach, you might be like, oh, that's not great. But he's one of the longer hitters in the field. Pebble's going to restrict him a little bit. You can notice he didn't gain as many strokes off the tee as he normally does, but his ball striking was still fantastic. He gained almost 5 strokes on approach, but lost over 6 putting. Just absolutely horrific putting scene for Kevin Yu. But it was wet Pebble POA. Like, I don't care. T6 at the Farmers, T3 at the Amex. This place is going to let him rip driver. He checks a lot of boxes. In my model that I ran on Bet the Number, he is 3rd in the model. Now, my model leans more heavily towards recent form, but he's 3rd in the model. And I think Kevin Yu, as a Scottsdale resident, is an interesting play at 120 to 1 on FanDuel as well. The last one I'll give you is a guy that I kind of started to come around on, and he hasn't played great the last couple of weeks. The Farmers miscut really perplexes me, but he missed it close, like I think on the number. And he really didn't lose a lot of strokes anywhere. He was just kind of stuck in neutral. But Keith Mitchell, loves this venue. We'll probably see Keith. I think he's probably playing with JT. Like, I'm going to talk to him about this place because I just feel like this has the makings of a Keith Mitchell spot. I know he embraces the vibe. He's just got to get some stuff clicking. So I like Mitchell. He's 100 to 1 on FanDuel. I love this batch of Kitty, Mitchell, EVR, Detry at 80. I like this range a lot.
I think you're getting some value there if you can get that number too on Mitchell.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't really have a lot in the bombs like over 125 to 1. What do you have in this range?
yeah, I mean, he's been awful this year, but and I know this is the course history stand in me, but Vegas, you were on Vegas last week,
I
and
was,
maybe this is the time. Maybe you go to Vegas this week and get on Johnny Vegas here. He does play well. Seems to like this place. He skipped 3 years, but had a top 10 in 2019, T23 last year. Definitely checks the box off the tee. So I think Vegas could be interesting. Sam Ryder has played here a lot, top 25s in the last couple years. Probably could get him around. I'm seeing him 180 to 1, so maybe a little bit longer. But he is he checks a few boxes too when you look at approach, top 20 in the field. Very good putter. We know that about Sam Ryder. So I could say that there's a chance there. But the thing about Sam is, like, to me, it would be more of a top 20 type play because I just don't think he's winning. Well, especially if his mom is there.
Yeah. Hopefully she's not. I feel the same way. I feel the same way about almost everybody in this range. Like the one guy I have that was a total bomb is 170 to 1, and it could just be total recency bias. Korn Ferry Tour grad, PJ Tour rookie, Jake Knapp.
What a beautiful swing that guy
absolutely stripes it, and his swing is it
makes me like
it's sex.
It really is.
He has he's averaged 186 mile-an-hour ball speed off the tee. I mean, just unbelievable.
And it looks like he's swinging as fast as me.
Yeah.
That's like what it looks like.
I went back and looked at his Korn Ferry Tour stats. The iron play is usually what kind of holds him back. But his touch around the greens is actually pretty good, even on the Korn Ferry Tour, season-long sample. He's pretty good around the greens. Putter's not bad. But, I mean, he had a spike week at the Farmers, gained 3.7 strokes on approach. And this place is a little, it's not totally Torrey Pines-esque, but it's going to test you through the middle and the back end of the bag. That's going to be an advantage for Jake Knapp. So, coming off the T3 at the Farmers, 170 to 1, again, probably better as a placement bet, which we'll get into here in just a second. Then our boy Kenny McAndress is going to come on. I'm going to let him know he can come on in. So before we get to our top 26 pack of locks and bombs, I want to thank our friends at Swannies. Check it out. The gear at Swannies is hot right now. They're dropping new lines for the spring and the summer season. They got the women's apparel, the juniors apparel, obviously men's apparel for golf. We will be rocking some Swannies while we're at the Waste Management this week. They're going to be at the Waste Management this week doing some fun content. So if you're going to be there, they've got a tent set up. I think they're in the merch whatever pop-up place there at Waste Management. But a great company, U.S.-based company, ships anywhere in U.S. and Canada. Just good people over there. Swannies making a great product. We're really pumped to be working with them this year. And you can use code TJ25. Like, that's a pretty big discount. Like, most of the partners we talk to are not willing to give 25% off of anything. Swannies is giving Tour Junkies listeners 25% off your entire order, and you can use it over and over again. So keep dropping it, keep using it. Some fantastic stuff. I know I'll probably be getting a lot of wear out of that Van Dyke pullover hoodie that they have this week in Phoenix. It's cool in the mornings, right? And cool in the evening.
We'll look like twins. I'll be wearing one, but of course mine's a bluish color.
Of course, yes, it's blue. Thank God. So yeah, check out Swannies. Link in the description, or you can scan the QR code here on YouTube if you want to do some shopping. Great junior stuff too. Really good junior stuff. Yeah. You got a little junior junkie at home, want some golf gear, get them rocking the Swannies. All right, let's hit some top 20s, and then I'm sure our boy Kenny McAndress will be popping in. Who do you like? Who are your locks? 2 locks.
All right. Well, I am going to I'm looking at DK, by the way. I'm going to start with Sam Burns plus money at plus 110, top 20. I love that. And then I'll go to Benny on at plus 190.
What was Burns again?
Plus 110.
I kind of looked at the top range. So I have been on at 190. That was one of mine. So we'll share that one. I looked at the top range, and I just, like, in the plus money numbers, the lock, I didn't really love. So I'm going kind of ballsy with these. Been on at 190, who you mentioned, and I'm going Bo Hostler at plus 250.
Oh,
on
wow.
DK.
Okay.
As always, probably prefer our placement bets on BetMGM with no dead heat rules and paying out full for ties, but you definitely need to shop those around. But so it's Hostler, Ben on, Sam Burns are the locks. Who's your bomb at 4-1 or longer to finish in the top 20?
Well, I just mentioned it, and I can't quit him. Sam Ryder plus 500 on DK. I'll go with that. I like the fact that he's just played here a lot. Has been right around the top 25 a few times. So I'm going to go with Sam Ryder.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to go Jake Knapp, who I just talked about. Sweet
I
swinging
thought
Jake
you might.
Knapp. I want to try to track him down. I feel like Knapp might be, I kind of, when the new girls girls show up every PGA Tour season, I usually gravitate to the ones who hit it a mile, and have a little swag, a little style to him, and I feel like he kind of does.
He seems kind of like a TJ guy too.
He does.
We need to definitely.
What if he's not? What if we go up and we start talking and he's just
It's like a total disappointment.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen.
All right. Well, hopefully it doesn't. All right. I think that wraps up the golf, although we're probably going to talk some golf with Kenny. Let's bring him in, the founder of Moonshot, the Mooney Gang czar, the Mooney Gang god, my boy Kenny McAndress. What's up, dude?
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Beautiful. Good to see you.
Doing fantastic, Kenny.
Are you at a live after party right now? You look like you're the
Dude,
lights and the.
We've got like 50% of the new studio set up. That's why I've got you can't really see the screen, but most of my wall decor is on the ground right now, but I had to at least get the lights set up and make it look like I kind of know what I'm doing.
Is your new studio a discotheque?
Are the chain smokers there?
Yeah.
Are they there? Are they at your house?
They are, yeah. Actually, I'm doing a pod with them right after I wrap up with you guys. So let's make this quick.
All right, Kenny. I know. We're bringing you on here because you're the NFL god, but you're also a total golf addict and golf gambling junkie too. So I know you want to throw out some bombs.
Dude, I'm more excited to talk golf than I am Super Bowl.
I know you are.
It's crazy. I'm full in on golf mode now. I'm excited for the NFL to be over so I can really, really full send it. But I'm having more fun betting golf, to tell you the truth.
All right. Well, I already kind of teased and talked about how together we joined forces, our Discords, and we attacked the hell out of FanDuel round 1 last week. But
oh yeah,
so that was fun. But talk about the waste management. I know you want to just start slinging names and getting thoughts. So hit us.
All right, yeah, we'll go there. So, look, we've seen a stretch of just absolute moonshots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just to start the year.
Good for your brand for sure.
If there's a 20 where it's not going to happen, I feel like we might see that correct this week, just because of the top of the board. I mean, you look at the experience that Scheffler's had here. I feel like it's ripe for a little chalk, but.
By the way, Scheffler was positive in putting for the event for the 3 rounds at Pebble this week.
I know. I saw that. It's pretty wild. But
that could be bad.
The good news is that waste management, you can suck at putting. I'm not even I'm completely disregarding putting for this. So look, for the spirit of trying to find some bombs to keep that streak going. There's a market on FanDuel actually that I've kind of gone back and forth on, but I feel like for this tournament, it's a good way to approach this. They have a market where it's winner without Scheffler, JT, Homa, Xander, and I don't want to. I do not want to fade Scotty Scheffler this week. I do not want to fade JT. Now I'm not going to bet Scheffler at plus 320, but I think for the long shots that I'm going to fire out here, I'm going to take him at their standard outright price, but then I'm going to play him in this market as well. Just hey, if they take second because Scheffler wins 3 in a row, you still get some juice. So I got 2. The one guy, his odds have already gotten tanked pretty good in the last hour and a half. I might take a little bit of credit for that. I can't say it was all me, but the first bomb on the board, man, I think he will be relatively popular this week. Give me Kevin Yu.
Okay. We just talked about him. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Give me. I love Kevin Yu this week. Arizona State Sun Devil. So I know this course. I believe it's other than Augusta National, it's the course where past performance correlates to success, more than anywhere else other than Augusta. And again, I don't think he's played in this tournament yet, so I don't necessarily love that. But again, he's an Arizona State guy. I know that he's played this course 100 times. He's had success in desert golf. Again, I think he's got 2 top 6s at Amex and then at the Farmers. Ball striking, monster, and he can't putt for shit. Who cares? And really, this time of the year last year, he was starting to find his form. Then he got knee surgery, missed a chunk of the year. It took him a little bit to get back. And then really from the fall swing to today, he's starting to get back to where he was last year. So I took Kevin Yu at 120 to 1. I think he's down to 80. And then I also played that market winner without Scheffler, JT, Homa, Xander at 7,500.
How does it work if there's a tie for second in that market on FanDuel?
Like if Scheffler wins and then he takes second, or him and JT Poston or whatever tie for
Do they
third.
just apply their regular dead heat rules to it?
I believe the dead heat rules would apply, but I have to double check that. That's a good question.
And if I remember correctly, FanDuel's dead heat rules suck. I think that's the only thing you got to think about with that market.
Let me see if they just have I'll be like really quick. If they have that stipulation here. They don't, for all of their markets where dead heat comes into place, it's like
they have the rules at the bottom, don't they?
Big bold letters, dead heat rule applies. I don't see that here.
Huh.
So I think you get away with it. I think if you finish, T3, tied with somebody behind one of the big four, my understanding is it would pay out in full. So I got that at 7,500. I'm not sure what that's down to, but woo Kevin Yu.
All right, I like that. Oh, dude, you must have hammered it because now he's 55 to 1 in that set.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, big fans of him this year. I liked him last week at Pebble Beach. So yeah, all right,
hit us with another one. Who else you got?
I got one more. Look, I would be shocked to the core if lightning struck twice for this guy in 2 months. I like what I'm seeing out of Grayson Murray.
Grayson Murray.
I'm absolutely playing Grayson Murray this week, dude. He's been flushing it. Best ball striking he's had really in his career. He's coming off a win. And I thought it was cool too. Like, he went into that Sunday at the Sony tied, I think either with the lead or tied for first. And I just feel like that's a spot where a guy like Grayson, who he hasn't been there really at any point in his career, you kind of expected him to fall off a cliff, and he didn't. Much needed birdie on 18, forced the playoff, and then hit that bomb putt to win it. By his standards, he's got good course history here. I mean, even when he was playing the worst golf of his career, he always made the cut here. He's made the cut in 3 straight appearances. And again, he's a shit putter. That doesn't matter. So
he's played here 5 times. He's never finished better than 36th, which he did the first time out. But I also think with a guy like him who battled all the things that he battled, and God knows if he was sober during those years, right?
Yeah.
Like he talked about that. And the Waste Management is probably not the easiest place on the tour schedule for a guy like Grayson to walk up to his tee time in proper mental, physical, and emotional space. I mean, it's easy to party out there in the Waste Management. So
he's getting back to his roots.
It does feel like it's a good spot for his skill set for sure. But I also thought Sony was not going to be a great spot for him, and he freaking won. So I don't hate it. What was his number? And is that the winner without?
I did both. So I got him at 350 to 1 outright, and then the winner without is 170 to 1.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yeah, those were my 2 bombs. I was between them and Kevin Stadler. I figured I would go with Grayson Murray instead.
Stadler. Speaking of a place like golfers avoiding the temptations around them, and we're not going to turn this into a live conversation or a live show, but live is in Las Vegas this week during the Super Bowl. They're moving up. Their first round is on Thursday, so it ends on Saturday before the Super Bowl stuff. But I would for sure, if I'm handicapping live, which I don't think I'm going to get to do a show this week because me and Pat will be busy at Waste Management, but I'll put my picks, a couple different places. But I would 100% pay attention to who you're betting at live while they're at the Super Bowl location in Vegas. Like that. Can you imagine?
Give me Caleb Surratt. Just keep firing. I know that's your
dude.
boy.
No way you can bet that kid in Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's 19, but still, there's no way. He looked hella impressive though yesterday.
That kid is very good.
That 4-putt, like what would Matt Wolff have done had he 4-putted from 4 feet like he did? He would have it would have, I don't know, it would have done something. Like that kid kept his head and then made 8 birdies on that round was unreal.
I like Tony's little comment here. Yeah, I would assume we're fading Phil in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine Phil firing in Vegas the weekend of the Super Bowl?
I would love for just a camera to just follow Phil around Vegas most of the time, and just especially when he walks into a casino just to see what he does.
What are the odds that Phil misses his third round tee time because he's on a radio row on the McAfee show, or like he withdraws or something. And next thing you know, he's on some show doing content about the Super Bowl.
Or because he hasn't slept in 72 hours and he's playing Baccarat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time. All right, let's talk Super Bowl since we're getting into that. Kenny, every year me and Pat like to do our prop bets. We usually talk through some fun props we like. I think some years have been better than others, like most years gambling. I think last year was a little bit of a down year for me personally, at least on the prop bets. I have 6 props that I like. I don't know if Pat has anything prepared. He's been gallivanting in Arizona already all weekend.
Yeah.
But I want to let you start, Kenny, and then I'll kind of button it up because you probably know what you're talking about, and I'm just an idiot throwing at weird props. But hit me.
You're not an idiot. It's okay. Yeah, I'll say this, man, from a prop betting standpoint, like the playoffs in general, and then especially the Super Bowl, it's far more difficult, I think, to bet on props in this game than it is during the regular season. There's just less of an edge everywhere. I feel like the margins are just like razor thin. Like the books have these numbers down to a science, and
yeah,
it's pretty rare to find that that long shot TD score. Like even the third, fourth wide receivers, I feel like their TD prices are kind of nuked to oblivion. So it's it's the same way we do it when we bet on golf. Like we hate betting chalk, and for touchdown scorers, the NFL, I mean, I rarely do it, and I kind of broke that exception in last year's Super Bowl. It's probably the last really good NFL bet that I've hit. I've got it behind me here. We had Jalen Hurts touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns last Super Bowl. It definitely took the sting out of my Eagles loss, just a little bit here. But it's definitely tough. So I've got a list of just, I would say, some simpler ones. Then we can maybe get into some of the fun stuff. But to start, like I think it's going to be I think there's a good chance we see just the Christian McCaffrey masterclass. Again, he's gotten like around 20 carries last 2 games, and those both were in trailing game scripts against Green Bay and then against Detroit. I think they're going to just rely on him as heavily as humanly possible. The Chiefs have done a really good job this year of just essentially shutting down number 1 wide receivers. I mean, you look, I mean, it's really hard for a number 1 guy to go off against this defense. They get really creative defensively. They'll have Snead, probably Shadow Ayuk for a good portion of the game. So I just think it's going to be even more McCaffrey, and that's a lot to say because you're already getting a lot of McCaffrey on a regular basis. So like, to keep it simple, I just like his 100+ rush yards. It's annoying. Like an hour ago, this was plus 155 on DraftKings. It's, I think, already down to plus 122. But to keep it very simple, I'm going to be pretty heavy on Christian McCaffrey. For like one other San Fran prop, again, I'm not going anywhere near Brandon Ayuk. So the next rational pivot there would either be Debo or Kittle. And I think the Kittle number is pretty generous, 47.5 receiving yards on FanDuel. So McCaffrey rush yards, Kittle receiving yards are the 2 on the San Fran side that I would start with. On the Kansas City side, it's ugly, but Marquez Valdes-Scantling continues to play more and more snaps and run more routes than even he was running during the regular season. And just look, this Chiefs wide receiver core outside of Rashee Rice, and again, I know Kelsey's not a receiver, but their pass catchers have been just criminally unreliable this year. They led the NFL in drop passes. MVS was a big part of that, and he's dialed it in the last couple of weeks. And his number is pretty generous. I mean, again, he's their deep ball guy. And that's probably the biggest weakness on San Fran's defense is just receivers on the perimeter. Like they will give Mahomes looks to throw the deep ball. And if he's throwing a deep ball, it's going to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. So I like Valdes-Scantling longest reception over 13.5 receiving yards. Again, I think his standard receiving line is like 19.5. I'd rather play the longest reception at 13.5 because there's a good chance he catches 1 ball and it's a long one. So I did that. And then unfortunately, this is only on Bet365. It's so annoying. This is like my favorite market in the world, and I wish more books had it. But you can do alternate longest reception. So I did Valdes-Scantling longest reception over 30+ yards, plus 375 on 365. I like a lot. Nice.
Okay. All right. What about your fun ones?
McCaffrey to score the first TD and the last TD plus 2,200. I think has some juice to it. I don't know if I'm gonna get there, but again, if I'm gonna be on the McCaffrey train, I think that's a fun way to really juice him up. And then I just maxed out what you could do for an SGP on DraftKings. That was McCaffrey 120+ rush yards and 2 TDs at plus 675. Again, that was plus 850 when I thought we were going live at 10. So shame on you for kicking me to the back.
Well, we were waiting on Pat to wake up there in Arizona 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Pat, do you have any bets prepared or no?
I have one I wanted to ask about, and this is definitely kind of a little bit of a novelty prop. Well, not really. If you think about these teams, and they both have really good defenses that are playing good, the first drive for either one to punt is plus money around plus 130. I feel like early on in the Super Bowl too, you're kind of feeling each other out a little bit. You're not getting too risky on your plays. What do you think either one on the plus money for a punt? Any thoughts on that? Is that something you ever look at?
I do sometimes. I agree with you. These are two really, really, really good defenses, and just for the game itself, I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I do lean the under. I think both teams are going to rely more on the running game because it matches up better. But I do lean under, and if you're going to bet the under, I think you can just wait. I imagine the over will continue to get steamed up the closer we get to the game. So if you're going to bet the under, I don't mind the first drive punt looks. I would want to see what the combined odds are for like both teams to punt. If there's some juice there, I could be talked into it. My only reservation would be, like, the Chiefs have marched down the field their opening drive like 3 straight games. Like
they really have been good with that. But that's not. I mean, it is a trend lately, but it hasn't always been like that all year. So
it hasn't all year, but they found something lately. And look, their opening drive, it's usually like teams come in and they've got their first 15 plays scripted out, if you will. And Andy Reid's done a tremendous job of, again, putting them in a great position early on. So I'd be a little worried about that, just because, again, it seems like their game plan at the beginning of games has been lights out. I mean, you saw what happened last game. They marched down the field against Baltimore opening drive, did it again second drive, and then to start the second half, I think they punted five straight drives. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes in his career has ever punted 5 drives in a row. So, like, their offense disappearing in the second half last week is definitely a little concerning. You got to credit Baltimore's great defense on that front, but like, it's weird. Like I said, I lean the under, but I'm a little worried about that opening drive look, just because it seems like they've come out hot with a really, really strong offensive game plan the last couple of games, and I don't know if I want to get too cute there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I have 6 bets, and they're all most of them are very off the wall bets. I didn't even look at the normal props like that you covered, Kenny, because I knew you'd have that covered. I just went to weird stuff. I'll start with the least weird, and we'll move on. Both teams to score a rushing touchdown. These are all on DK Sportsbook because there was just more. At the time I was looking, there was more available. Both teams to score a rushing touchdown is plus 125. I already kind of had the same sentiment you just mentioned about C-Mac, and then you give me one more that could be Mahomes, I could totally see little Mario Bro Pacheco chopping his feet into the end zone on a short one. I could see that happening. So I like that one.
I don't mind that at all.
All right, good. Let me give you a couple more of the regular ones, and you tell me your thoughts. This is just, it's 5-1. Okay. At least one, just one. All you need is one 4th down converted from either team in the final 2 minutes. And I just think we're going to have a close game, so I don't know. 5-1 just felt like a good number to get one 4th down conversion.
Hey, am I still here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's not. Now he's not here.
Oh, what happened? Oh, he bailed.
See,
I started talking all the
hated that. You know what happened is you said I got 6 prop bets, and everybody went, "Oh,
I'm moving quickly. I'm gonna move quickly. Okay, he's back. Looks like he's back.
Tony's blaming me for this, by the way, Kenny.
Pat just said you just hated that I had 6 bets and you were done.
You're good for one, and then I pulled the plug, man. That's all I can handle.
Okay, so the 4th down conversion thing, and then let me just give you this last one that's not so. And then I'm going plus 145. Know that the last play of the game is a QB kneel. So what do you think of those 3? My both teams to score 1 rushing touchdown, the 4th down converted in the last 2 minutes, and no on the QB kneel.
Oh man,
they're all just random. I know you're like whatever.
Again, like the first one, the second 2 obviously are just so they're just so game script dependent. Like essentially, it's either like
Yeah.
I guess you're in the camp of like this game will be coming down to the wire, right? That's sort of like I don't mind the looks there. What I would want to do is I would want to sort of shop the market with that thought in mind. Like, okay, if the game is going to come down to the wire, is there a more efficient way to sort of play that game script? The fourth down angle in the last 2 minutes said it was 5-1.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think 5-1 is enough juice for me, because it's like you need it to be a a close game with one team driving, and you need them to get the fourth down, and then you need them to convert the fourth down. So at 5-1, I don't hate the idea. I just feel like I feel like I need more juice there.
Okay. Now I realize I actually have 2 bets left. I only have 5, not 6. But I'm going to save the one I'm most confident in for last. Here's one. Did you know that DraftKings has a Taylor Swift section of bets, a Swifties section?
Shocker.
Oh,
They have a Swifties section. And I will say, this is clever. There's like 15 bets, and the bets are named after her like songs and albums. And I am not a Taylor Swift fan whatsoever.
What?
So I'm not. This one is more of this is my hedge bet, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want Travis Kelce to have this huge game. I don't want to see all the Taylor Swift BS the whole game. And I want the 49ers to win. So this is my hedge bet. It's the today was a fairy tale bet on DraftKings. Kelce to score a touchdown and the Chiefs to win, plus 240.
If you're gonna bet the Chiefs, I think that's a fine way to do it.
Yeah. So it's just my hedge, because I don't want them to win. So if they don't win, I'm happy. If they win and this happens, which it probably will, then I'm okay.
Let me just manually build that real quick and just see what are you getting that at?
Plus 240.
Yeah, it's like if you build it on DraftKings, it's shittier. If you build it on another book, it's like plus 230. So you're getting a little bit of juice there. Yeah, if you're on the Chiefs, I don't think it's a bad angle. I'll be honest, man. Like I don't like going into a game where I don't have a heavy opinion on a side, and in this game, I don't. I can really see it going either way. Like if Satan rose from the ground and gave me $1 million that I had to bet it, like I'd probably just bet Chiefs. I'd probably bet Chiefs money line. But
I bet Kevin without winning at 55-1, without Scotty Scheffler and Xander.
I would go, Satan, I got one for you. I'm going to put all $1 million on Grace and Mary outright. Yeah. But yeah, I think if I had to pick a side, I'd probably go Chiefs money line. But I don't think I can commit to it. It's weird, man. Like I feel like just both teams, like there was just so much across the NFL. There was so much bad football this year, like across the board. There was just a lot of bad football this year. And there was a lot of bad football from the quote unquote great teams. Like I compare it to last year. Like, and I promise this isn't coming from like my Philly bias. Like I feel like the Eagles team, like the Eagles of last year's Super Bowl with that coaching staff and that roster, I think would blow out both of these teams. I think the Chiefs last year would blow out the Chiefs of this year, and would blow out this Niners team. Like I just think like the quality of the teams were just so much better last year. And I see a lot of legitimate flaws on both of these teams. And it's hard for me to really want to commit to a side. I can't do it. Again,
hi there. I'm recording. Sorry.
I was skipping. You like me to fluff pillow?
If you could come back in about 20 minutes.
Would you like me to drag you off?
I guess I could mute this, but
I'm skipping.
What kind of hotel is this?
But yeah, I don't mind that at all. If you're gonna bet the Chiefs money line, if they win,
Okay.
Kelsey's probably gonna get one. And again, I think he's Laporta just went nuts against this defense last week. I mean, the matchup's good. Kelsey's looking like the Hall of Famer that he was over the last couple of years that we didn't see for like 99% of the season, and he looks all the way back. I wish they had it on a U.S. book. I don't even know if the prices moved, because I thought the odds were like so absurd. But there were some offshore books
Oh
offering props on whether or not Kelce was going to propose on the field after the game. Dude, the odds were ridiculous. Like Kelce to propose on the field after the game was like plus 200. Like that's insane. That's insane. That is insane. And I think no was like, like minus 300 or something like that. I'm like, dude, like empty the clip on no. Like
That's the
Yeah.
same odds as Scheffler to finish top 20 at the Waste Management.
Yes,
this
exactly.
year.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
crap.
That's
Okay, I have one more, and I do this bet every year, Kenny, and I think I'm 2 for 3. I think I'm 2 for 3 with this bet. It's the Gatorade color. Okay, and I just don't understand unless the books know something that we don't know. The favorite is purple, and now maybe that's because purple Gatorade is delicious. It's a plus 225. And then the next favorite is yellow green, yellow/green. And then you have orange, blue, red, clear, and no Gatorade bath. Orange and red, to me, I think we fire on both of those. Orange is 3-1.
Just because of the team colors?
And red is plus 350. Red has both team colors in it.
See, I always go blue. As you know, I'm a big blue fan.
I know, but neither one of these teams have blue anywhere. Maybe
it
blue
doesn't matter.
balls.
They don't care.
Maybe blue balls, but I don't.
Do you think if Patrick Mahomes liked blue Gatorade, that they're still putting red in there because of the color?
I don't know what happened to your throat. You're starting to sound like Patrick.
Right, I got morning throat here.
This is one where I wish I knew what all these odds were like a week ago whenever this would have opened, because if purple's the favorite, I would want to know what the purple line opened at, because if it opened at like something crazier and then got steamed down, I mean, that means somebody knows
some
something.
Equipment manager, like who's
that means
knows.
We had a situation like that a couple of years back. I can't say with Super Bowl or anything like that because I can't get anybody in trouble. But like, let's just say we knew somebody that knew somebody playing in the Super Bowl, and like I knew a whole lot of people that obliterated Gatorade color and made a lot of money off of it. Like that's one, like, you know, if you're seeing movement on something, that means somebody knows something. It's like, you know, if the national anthem gets steamed down by like 5 or 6 seconds, there's not value in the over now. Like, I mean, somebody knows something and either get on the train or don't bother.
Yeah. Makes sense. All right. That was fun.
Good deal.
Kenny, tell the people what you got going on, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. At Kill Kenny on Twitter, KIIL Kenny. Link to my Discord is in my Twitter bio. I'll be streaming on Twitch religiously now that we've got new studio set up here. So DB and Pat obviously will be in touch. I always said once I got settled here, I want to really hammer out the content schedule and really do as much as I can with you guys. Because again, after this Sunday, the number one priority, and there is the number 2, is going to be golf. And the more that I can do with you guys and pick your guys' brain on stuff, just the better. There's nobody else I would rather talk golf with. So thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure talking with you both. I'm jealous as hell. Enjoy Waste Management. Are you guys going to like rush the gate and at least try to get some time on the 16th? Or are you going to be on the content engine?
Tuesday and Wednesday, we will be on the 16th. We'll be in the ropes. We don't have to mess around with that on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, there is very little chance that we are going to wake up early enough to want to go see that madness. We are doing some content with the PGA Tour on Thursday, so maybe they take us inside the ropes on 16 for that, but maybe they don't. I'm sure we'll have some time at 16, but it will not be like what Pat, what would you have to like, what would I have to give you, Pat, to take a camera phone with you on Thursday morning, wake up at 4 a.m., go stand in the cold at the gate with all those people, video, document yourself doing the Waste Management, speed walk to the 16th, and like mixing it up with the regular folks, You're up there in Sedona and your elitist, dinners you had and all that. What would I have to give you? Like, truly, if I gave it to you, you'd say, okay, I'll do it.
Here's what you'd have to do, because I know how this day is going to line up anyway. All right. So you would have to I would do it first off. All right. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to do all the things you want me to do with those people. Okay. Nothing against those people. I don't mean that in a bad way. Then I would want to take a nap. And you have to do all the content that we might be required to do on Thursday, which was potentially our day off. And then I'll come back and meet you on 16, and I get to get after it, and you can't complain at all. That's what I would do.
Okay, we'll work on that arrangement.
Yeah.
Negotiations.
But Kenny, before we go, Kenny,
Yes,
Love having
Tony,
you on.
you see it?
What'd he say?
You don't even realize you did it, but this is exactly what I was talking about last week. This is exactly what I was talking about last week when there's going to be a point of this trip where Pat literally gets seriously mad at me because of he's ready to be done and just wants to enjoy himself. And you
Why
just
wouldn't you? I meant the waste management, right?
I know,
Kenny?
I know. I mean, I want to also, but you can do both. Like you can actually do both.
Well, not really. Not
You
really.
saw
When
the anger. You saw the anger in his eyes, didn't you? He kind of switched to the DB's gonna blah blah blah.
In this hypothetical made up scenario situation that you just presented him, DB, Pat, he even had the head shake. In the afternoon, I am going to take a nap and you can record the rest of the stuff that we're supposed to.
Yeah.
well, we'll see what happens.
I see Luke Wharton giving me a hard time over my Delco accent. Luke, I'm gonna remember that, my friend. And Chris, we got the new camera, baby. It just
you got it.
It's a work in progress.
Ignore the chat. I have to learn how to do that, Kenny. But first off, Kenny, appreciate you coming on. One of these days, especially if we're going to be doing more stuff, I'd like a better direct contact for you. Maybe, I mean, we don't have to, like I message you on Discord and that's all the contact I have with you because DB holds everything in. He won't put me on any kind of messaging system that's maybe a phone or something with you. So maybe this year, if we're doing some more golf stuff, I don't have to DM you on Discord or something or whatever. So
Pat, I will give you my fax number and we will be in touch, bro.
Perfect. All right. A facsimile. I'll send you a facsimile.
A facsimile. A facsimile. Here you go, Pat. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this for you. That text is for you, Pat. That's you and me and Kenny.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, especially this week. It's awesome, by the way, being in a legal state. I feel like it's like a whole new world's open.
For gambling or for weed?
No, well, both, I guess.
All right, Kenny, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're going to have a great week. I'm going to go get on an airplane, go to Arizona, meet my boy Pat. Bend over your bookies, people.